Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, my beautiful ones. The part begins with Gigi, who comes over at some point. The class is divided and they fight each other from the second, and she is shocked at how he and Yuri stand facing each other. And she goes to sit while thinking about what made them like this, and I see that this is something different for him because she had not seen this before. And she is thinking about talking to them to find out what happened, and that no one is willing to know her, but she must know exactly what their secret is. Suddenly, she finds a lot of chocolate with her, and she thinks that Sakin is the one who brought it to her, and the one who is going to see this, and she will give it to him. But in exchange for this, he will let her know what happened. Of course, he refuses, so she goes to open it in front of the whole class and tries to seduce him so that they know her, what happened to them and is hidden from her, when she makes everyone want chocolate before the exam and keeps pretending that she is very happy with chocolate. But her phone sends me a message here from Kafir and she wants to stop with her. Because it is not funny, but she decides to continue what she is doing and the bad guy decides to talk and introduce her in exchange for the chocolate, and she gives him everything he has in exchange for him not knowing her. Question, and she says that they are. Why? They look into the past. And so he goes to tell her that Lori was upset with the people and they were supporting him. And he sees that what is happening is normal and that the whole class is not supposed to be like this at all. And because of this, they go into disbelief and he tries to silence them, but she stops him and disrupts the chocolate jug. All the while, and he rejoices, and she sees that they are still upset with each other. And suddenly the teacher comes, because of the exam, and this happened in her favor so that they stop fighting. When you are preparing for the exam, and what you are starting here, time is running out and everyone is complaining about the difficulty of the exam. Most of them don't finish, but they go and pick up the paper from them all the time, and they walk from class until they reach Jaija, and he informs her that she has to pass the paper from the previous school so that her grades can be counted, and she starts to graduate, and he takes the paper from her even when she is not finished yet, so she goes home in this messy room of hers and sends SN to let her know exactly what is happening. And so he calls her and informs her he wasn't supposed to let her know this, and I hope she forgives him because he owes her a lot and keeps talking to her, and she's upset. So we go to the night she came to visit Iris in the first place, and she's hesitant about whether she's going to come or not, but she has to do this to make her know what she's going to be in. She's trying to calm herself down as much as she can, and she's going into her room for the first time and seeing her room for the first time. I admire her, but she doesn't know what brought her here, and that's why you know how he can come here so easily. And how she's with Yuri and loves Keith. She should leave him, especially since she knows Yuri and that he's still waiting for her to love him. She shouldn't have given him any hope because she's hurting him. That's why Jajib is clapping for him, because she's the one who started the conflict between Yuri and Keith. She leaves and doesn't want to talk to him at all, but before she leaves, she warns her not to be stubborn because she'll regret it if she stays with her, and she's experienced that before. But Jajib makes fun of her and goes to sit alone, so while he's busy organizing the school and class camping trip, suddenly Ella messages Yuri and wants to talk to him. This is while the class is walking, with Jajib and Keith, who is focused on him. She's thinking that she won't focus on Yuri or think about her relationship with him, and she goes and makes fun of Freya as she walks. And she makes fun of the people accompanying her and says that the place is useless. At the campsite, Varya is basically in control of everyone around her, especially Mika and Jajiga. Sim teases her because she's definitely not going to be like them. So they tell them that this location is for their class, but first they have to take a picture together. They all go and gather and take a picture together, and they're very happy. Then it's night and they set up camp. Wikilees thinks the organizer is probably annoyed with them for leaving them in this messy place, and Shagya doesn't like it and doesn't know how to handle it. That's why Kev goes to her and decides to help her set up her campsite. She tells him that she's going to her school tomorrow to sign the papers since it's nearby, and she refuses to let Sakin go with her. So Kev insists on going with her so that nothing like that happens to her, and also Yuri. He comes here and she decides to meet them tomorrow morning, and she thinks that she will not know anyone and will run away while everyone is sleeping better early, and she goes to interact with Cien. Kiefer goes to meet Adrian tomorrow. Vian brings his phone to follow Jajawi there, so the day passes and she comes to the old school and welcomes this guard, who is surprised when he sees her and knows that it has been a long time since the last time Mia walked. He informs her that Ciro, her friend from a long time ago, is here now, so she should take her mind and know that everyone here knew about their relationship. She goes walking and thinks and starts to feel sorry for him because she did something bad to him before, but he accepts that this is normal and they both are happy. She walks away and thinks about her old school and hopes that she will never see Cyrus while she goes walking. She's disguised and can't believe she's finally getting into the principal's office. But she goes in and finds Cyrus right there in front of her. He's overjoyed to see her, and she's shocked. He tells her he's very pleased to see her. And when she tries to leave, he stops her and chokes her because he's still talking to her. He also tells her where he missed her, and that's why he's trying to make her suffer like she did to him before. He terrifies her and laughs at her state, wanting revenge for what she did to him. He leaves and she remains in shock. She tries to get up, especially when the teacher arrives and sees that. She seems to have become respectable since she was always yelling at her. She wants to check her information, but Jajai leaves still in shock. Cyrus goes to her and tries to talk to her, but she immediately hits him and shocks him. She tells him to stay away from her before she explodes in his face. And that's why he tells her he intends to give her a taste of her own medicine. What she did to him, and they hit her. They knock her down and he beats her, because there is no help for her. And they pin him down so he can hit her with his comfort, and all of a sudden Hao and Yuri come and stop him and beat him all. The time in the whole class comes and she hits the one who lives in her, and David checks on her, and the fed-up one comes and checks on her, but Cersei doesn't know who they are, and Eurosifer knows him themselves, and they hit him all the time, and the class knows how to lose, Gega coming really with ease, and the girls there like them too. So David goes to check on Jagai and the class, and Kiefer hits Cyrus because of what he did to Jagai, and Farhan sees that she follows Jagai and is happy that they did, that and wants to know what he likes about Jagai, and so they tell him that she is their friend, and classmate, and who is in the family and from what class. And Kiefer says that she is his, and they beat her up, but he talks a lot, and because so you go and stop them all the time. He's just been discharged from the hospital and is completely exhausted, but Kiefer immediately picks her up. He keeps watching Tyre, who is obviously sad, and gives her a quick kiss, a kiss to make up for the bad language she was using. They leave the camp under Tyre's watchful eye, who is very upset about this. They arrive back at the camp and want to eat, but they're happy with their new clothes. Fashish comes under Kiefer's watch, and he goes to eat. But David arrives and is waiting for her to say anything to him, so he can stay with her. When Kiefer sees her with David, he changes his mind and goes to give her food. He sits next to them and next to Yuri, letting her eat instead of taking her to the hospital, just to check on her. She looks at both of them, and David is annoyed by his closeness and leaves. So Kiefer goes to sit next to her, while Yuri watches, telling her not to go out alone from now on without someone with her, because if they aren't there, they arrived and she was very upset. So she told them about Cyrus, and that she went even though she didn't want to meet him in the first place. They kept questioning her and were very worried about her, seeing that he was jealous and upset because she would get hurt by them. He admitted to her that it was too young for her to meet her ex, and asked the sleeping buff for his opinion on what would happen, and he was definitely right. To end the conversation, he warned her that if she did anything without telling them, he would lock her in the house afterward, making her wonder why everyone was so worried about her and against her. So they bought time and returned in the cold rain, only to find that their fire had been stolen. They were freezing, cold, and discovered that A's department had come to their place and literally wrecked it. He saw that they had taken her favorite toys too, and they found that their things had literally been stolen. But they were scared when they found something like, they find a dead snake and are thinking of using it to get their revenge. They wake up early and go to execute Cian's plan to go to the police station to get their revenge. They go and hide before being seen by the snake. This is when Fee is very spoiled and playing with her friends. But David takes the snake from Cian and bids it farewell, saying that he will be the one to avenge them. He takes it inside, and they have already made a plan. They are sleeping and moving the snake, pretending that Fee is moving. Maria tells Fee that she is brave and will do anything. But when they see the snake, they all scream and run away immediately. So they go to get the food they have and Gage's teddy bear. Kafir checks the other stations and agrees on a meeting place. He goes to celebrate with the others that they will actually get their revenge. The chapter begins with everyone arriving and staying in the building. They all enjoy themselves together, so they sell their belongings and divide themselves up to share the tent. Sakin will be with her, but Kafar refuses because he's jealous and rejects this, even though Jay Jagai wants to hear his story. She's happy and tells him that Jay Jagai won't share the service with anyone but him. But Yuru opposes him and wants to leave Jagai alone. She chooses to stay with him, and she's very happy and jealous of what's happening. The day passes, and Jagai takes care of herself like the other girls, which is unusual for her. But their classmate, Anna, comes and thinks that someone is hurting her because of marks on her neck. She thinks it's because of Kefir and tells her that if he's hurting her, she should find out, but Shashai denies that he's doing anything to her. And that's why she tells her that Kefir was crazy, and the first reason is Freya, and he was very jealous of her. It's clear that Gigi J will discover more about how, and a dark side of injustice will start to emerge. One of them goes to eat, and Freya comes and bumps into her. It's clear that they argue, and she doesn't listen to Mika's advice to calm down. She goes to find out who she is and believes she made the right choice. They try to stop her, but she yells at everyone, especially Yuri. That's why she tells her that it seems she's trying to get closer to everyone. When Kirkus stops her, she brings up his brother Percy, because she knows he'll be upset by it. This shocks Gigi J because how could Percy have been there recently? She also tells her that her friends did difficult things for her, which affects Gigi J. She leaves upset, and they refuse to talk to her about Percy. But she's still upset because she wants to know the truth they're hiding. As she leaves she goes alone to the river to get some water, and suddenly she hears a woman crying. She can't stand her at all and doesn't know what she wants. She wants her to leave because she can't argue with him right now. But Jaja goes and talks to her, and she tells her that she's not playing games with everyone like she thinks. That's why Feria tells her that Keith and Yuri are her exes, and that after Pierce left, Yuri was the first person to truly love her and give her what she wanted, like any man would. Then he left her and abandoned her, and she couldn't forgive him for what he did. Then Keith appeared and did the same, saving him from his situation. But jealousy had taken over him terribly, and he didn't want her to be with anyone else. She doesn't want to do anything without him or upset him, and to get over this, she tried to flirt with other people until they broke up. This upsets Jaja because she didn't know the truth. Sia continues, saying, people started seeing her in a negative light, completely unaware of the truth. When she tried to leave, Jajaya would hug her, but she'd stop and walk away alone. This made Jajaya think about the many secrets hidden from her. Will she find out what's coming in her relationship with Keith? We'll find out in the next episode. Stay tuned, but don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, my lovelies.